Welcome. Today we're actually going to be making some tooling. So unfortunately, sometimes in this business there's tools that you can't buy or you can't find and you have to make your own. But the good thing about it is guess what? We can make our own stuff. So works out good. And today that's what I'm going to be doing. So basically I'm going to be making a broach plug, but what I'm doing is the one I have or I need to make, you can't buy. It needs to be long. So here we go. Now basically this is a very similar operation to what you do when you key a shaft, which is basically what we're going to do here is key that shaft, but we're going to key it deeper than you would for a normal key. Alright, so first thing we're going to touch off this tool, make sure we have our height set properly. If you don't have your height set, that could be big problems. Basically going to jog over. Probably hope if I hit the right thing. Bring our tool down. Click this light off just so I can see it a little bit better when it lights up. Some of these don't light up so well because the batteries start dying in them. This one's actually pretty good. So you'll see me kind of rock it back and forth just a little bit. And that's just to make sure that I get it good and flat on there and not offset one way or the other. All right. So I already have this program. Now the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the stop because I'm going to be cutting right in that area. So we're going to take and cut this key, or this slot in here I should say. Pardon the mess, but yeah, got to keep some coolant on that tool to keep it from wearing down and overheating. I'm gonna pull these back out of the way, give you a little bit better of a shot. Maybe pop those off. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking 4 passes and just running a straight cut down the middle. And I'm just stepping down incrementally each time. And then what we're gonna do after it gets down to the bottom, we're gonna come back and run another cleanup pass on the outside to get us to the finish where we wanna be at. Now I may have left this a little bit under. I wanna try to sneak into what we wanna do because I want this broach to fit properly in there. And if you go too big, well, it's hard to put material back in, but it's easy to take back out, so. All right, this should be our last pass going straight through, and then we're gonna do a quick profile pass and we'll be done. Maybe have to still do a cleanup pass, but we're going to be getting close. So in theory, excuse excuse the extremely loud noise. This should fit right down in there. Oh yeah. That's exactly what we want, ladies and gentlemen. So here is mostly the finished product that we just made. There's one other step that we're gonna go do here in a second. But essentially this goes down into whatever part you're gonna press the key into, or press the broach into to create a key. And so basically you set this in there, this slides in, and then you press this thing through. Now if you take a look of how high this is now to versus when you actually press it through, see the height difference there. So what this thing is doing is gradually tapered on this top side here. It's gradually tapered. So as you press this through, each one of these tooths is making a pass and cutting the metal as it comes down through there. And depending on the size of broach that you need, you will also have shims that will go in the back side. It may be 1 shim, 2 shims, 3 shims. I believe some even have no shims. So you basically do the one pass, shim it, come back and do another. But I'm gonna show you a little trick that I do on these things here in just a second. All right, we're gonna get this welder on, get the gas on, and last but not least, get my helmet on. Don't want any burnt eyes. So for this, all I'm going to do is basically just take on the top side here and just weld me some little spots sticking off. All you're trying to do is just create something for that to sit against. So there's one. We'll put one here. We'll put one right here. All right, so the whole purpose of putting these tacks on there is just so this thing will not fall through. Nothing more aggravating than when you're pressing keys in there with a broach and you have the plug pushing through on you. All right, so we made it over here to the press, and now the fun part begins. So I'm actually just going to line this up with this tooth. It really doesn't matter, but I want to do it for my own sake. So now, put us a little oil. So you're basically just pressing this thing down through here. This is quite a long one, so going right at 4 inches down through this thing. Now, since this was so long, I'm actually going to use this punch and just kind of press it the rest of the way through until it, well, yeah, that didn't work. All right, so I'm actually going to use this bolt to help press this on through. And there we have it. So there's one. And we got to do this 2 more times. This requires 2 shims. So I'll take and put a little bit on the shim just to kind of lube it up a little bit. And then we're going to do another press right now. So you want to be careful when you're pressing these things through there, because sometimes, even still putting some lubrication on the shim back there, if you're not careful, sometimes they will actually grab and try to pull through. So you just got to be kind of careful on that. All right, one more press. We'll have a 5/16 key exactly where it needs to be at the right depth. My phones are going off the hook, including the one that I'm on recording on, so I'll have to get back with them. All right, here we go. The last one that we got to press through on. All right, so there's the finished product. There's your broach plug. And there is the key.